today to talk about stress. And currently, we are in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic, and so it's a really good time to talk about stress. So are you feeling stressed? Me too. But you know what? That's a normal way to feel, especially under the circumstances when we've never experienced anything like it here in Canada, at least. So the definition of stress is to apply pressure to something. So if I take this stick and I apply pressure, I'm actually stressing the stick. If I apply too much pressure, then it breaks. And this is a principle that bodybuilders have known for years, that if they stress their muscles just enough to cause some little tears, their muscles will come back stronger than ever. And our psyche is the same way. If we apply just the right amount of stress to ourselves, we actually force ourselves to learn new skills and strategies, and we come back stronger than ever. But we need the right amount of pressure. And so think about the pressure you're under. Do you feel like you're being pushed to grow, to gain new skills, or do you feel like the bodybuilder who works too many days in a row or pushes too hard, they end up with an injury? We can end up actually with psychic injuries too, usually in the form of depression or anxiety. But if you are feeling that you're starting to deteriorate, break down, too much stress as a result of not just the coronavirus, but the coronavirus, compared and, with all the other stuff that you've got going on, that doesn't mean that you can't come back stronger than ever. It just means you may need to learn a little bit more skills and strategies for how to deal with your stress so that you can make yourself stronger. We've been learning skills and adapting and growing our whole lives. For example, if you get angry and you decide, you know what, I'm just going to go for a walk and calm down, you're practicing a skill. If you're getting frustrated with something and you decide to leave it for a moment and go have a cup of tea or coffee, you're practicing a skill. If you decide that you're going to let something go that's been bothering you and just let it go, that's a skill. And if you offer words of encouragement and support to yourself or others, that's also a skill. You do skills every day, but sometimes our stress is greater than our ability to cope, and that's called a crisis. And we can grow and learn through a crisis, but we're going to learn and grow some new skills. So I want to talk about two different types of stress. So we have stress that's called, environmental stress. It comes from outside of ourselves. The coronavirus is a great example of an external stress. It's out there. There's certain things that we can do to kind of try to protect ourselves, but for the most part, it is what it is, and it's going to do what it's going to do. And that's what external stress is like. If we have deadlines, if we have heavy workload, if we have an aging parent, if we're laid off, if we're going through a divorce or a death in the family, that's all external stress. It's all stuff that's happening to us. It's not stuff that we're generating ourselves. Internal stress, on the other hand, is a stress that we actually cause ourselves when we are critical of ourselves, when we beat ourselves up for our mistakes and shortcomings, when we are constantly telling ourselves negative things about ourselves, when we're demanding perfection from ourselves. This creates a different type of stress. We also get stressed by other ways of thinking. If we are critical of others, if we make assumptions about their motives, if we think that we can know how they're feeling or what they're thinking, and we tell ourselves negative stuff about it, we also generate an awfully lot of stress for ourselves. And many people say that the majority of their stress comes from inside of them. In fact, I've had a couple different clients say that they're actually surprised that the coronavirus isn't more stressful for them. But because they're used to dealing with so much internal stress, that it's almost easier to deal with the coronavirus because at least they're not beating themselves up for causing it. They're not blaming themselves in any way. And in that sense, they're easier to take it is what it is kind of attitude about it. You know, I think of many people that I've heard say over the years, both professionally but even personally, that people that are going through a divorce will say, you know what, it would have been a lot easier if he or she had just died. And what they're really saying is that if it was completely external, no fault of their own, it would be easier for them to accept and deal with and get over. But a divorce can often provoke you to judge yourself, blame yourself, criticize yourself. Very common to go through a period of feeling like I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm this horrible person. And that is way more stressful for people, for some people, than even having a loved one die. That tells you how much that negativity we generate inside of ourselves, how much stress and pain it puts us under. So you could reduce a great deal of your stress simply by learning to be kinder to yourself. The greatest stress management tool you can learn is to manage your thoughts and the way you talk to yourself and others, so that you are treating yourself and others with kindness and compassion. You know, what if you treated your own shortcomings and mistakes the way some people are treating the coronavirus? What if when you made a mistake, you said, you know what, it's unfortunate, but these things happen, and I'll do what I can to fix it, or I'll do what I can to lessen the impact. I will learn what I can from this and try to prevent it from happening again. And I simply need to be patient with myself and know that this will pass. You know, mistakes happen not because we're a screw up. Mistakes happen because we're human. There is no way to avoid making mistakes. We get tired, we get forgetful, we get stressed, we think we know more than we do, so we're making assumptions. There's all kinds of reasons why we make mistakes that we can never ever prevent. We will have more success preventing viruses from ever happening again than we will have in preventing ourselves from making mistakes and falling short of perfect. So if you want to reduce your stress, be kind and compassionate to yourself and others when you or they make mistakes. Bye.